Hi everyone, Teresa here. I wanted to come on today because I was reminded this week of our body's consciousness. You know, our bodies are so wise and they are speaking to us all the time. So it's really just a matter of getting quiet, tuning in when we feel something going on with our body and deciphering the message. And so I wanted to share my story with you this week. Wednesday morning, I woke up and out of the blue, got out of bed and I'm like, wow, I feel this sharp pain on the bottom of my left foot. And I thought that is so random because I haven't done anything to bring on a pain like that. So I thought this is just really odd. So I wanted to share my process with you. So what I do is once I felt that, I start figuring out what is the spiritual meaning for this. And so I was looking at that and, you know, looking at what's the spiritual meaning for foot pain. And then of course I found plantar fasciitis and I thought, well, this is interesting. And so some of the things that I read, it said, are you being a shock absorber for others around you? I also read you might be feeling vulnerable at this time. And I also read that it's possible that you're unwilling to receive support from others. So these were some of things and I thought, well, this is really interesting. So then my next step in my process is this is my meditation spot right here. I come sit and I sit here and then I meditate and I run these things that I read through my system. So I run it through my mind, body, soul. I run it through my heart space and I sit in it and I feel all of it. I feel all the vulnerability. I feel all the lack of support. I feel all the shock. I feel it all in my system. And then when I come out of that, I determine, okay, this is what's resonating for me. So I am an empath. And so as an empath, I tend to take on other people's pain because as empaths, that's what we do. So if you are an empath, I'm sure you can resonate with that. So as all these shocking events have been going on across the world, as an empath, I have been absorbing them in my feet because it just gives me great pain to see so many people around the world, you know, just experiencing so much shock and pain and grief and loss. And that gives me so much pain that I've been feeling pain in my foot because I just want to absorb that from them. I don't want them to feel that. That's just what we do as empaths. And so I also, you know, felt pretty vulnerable this week. That seemed to be resonating for me. So I was sitting with that and working with that. And then of course, you know, feeling unsupported. You know, I think for me, I try to do everything on my own. So I think what was true for me is sometimes I don't ask for support enough. So I was sort of reminded of that, that, you know, it's okay if I need to ask for support. You know, that is okay. It doesn't make me any less of a person. But also, most importantly, I was reminded that I am supported by the divine. And I am reminded that the entire collective world is supported by the divine. So after I, you know, meditate about that, then I go into prayer and I pray for the entire world, you know, just to feel supported by God's source, our creator. And I pray about, you know, what steps can I take to help myself moving forward. And so that's what I do in prayer. I spend time, and then I also create some affirmations for myself that I can say each day because those affirmations help me align to higher consciousness. So really, as you know, a lot of it is we just have to change the way we think sometimes, right? And so some of the affirmations that I created for myself this week is that I am safe and supported by the divine. And our collective world is supported by the divine. And I am not the sole, S-O-L-E, shock absorber for others around the world. And so another one is I am setting healthy boundaries for myself, and I am supporting myself in healthy ways, and I am not responsible for the stability of everyone else. So these were just some of the affirmations that I came up with this week and continue to say. And then of course, then what I do is I do Reiki on myself. And I've been spending more time on my left foot, trying to ease the discomfort there. And of course, just help calm my nervous system and just help me, work through some of those feelings of being vulnerable and maybe lacking support. So I just wanted to share my process with all of you, because you too can do this same process with yourself when you're receiving pain in your body. So again, to recap, I look for the spiritual meaning of the pain that I'm feeling in my body. Then I go into meditation and I sit with that and run it through my system, run it through my heart space, and discern what is true for me. And then once I have that, I go into prayer and of course pray for the world and myself and the steps I can take to move myself forward. And then of course I do Reiki on myself. So that is my process. And so I really felt called to share that with all of you. And so I hope that helps. And just remember that your body is speaking to you all the time. So please listen and tune in. Now, of course, if you are still feeling pain after this process, by all means, go to the doctor and get those checks and balances checked out. But I personally like to do this process first before running to the doctor, because sometimes it's just about shifting our consciousness into a new way of thinking and a new way of being, and just reminding us that God Source, our Creator, is in charge and is taking care of all of us, and everything is unfolding exactly as it should. And yes, there's chaos, there's darkness, there's confusion, there's suffering, there's pain, yes, and that is part of life. And we're having to move through all of this to help us learn and grow into new ways of being and finding new systems so that we can start helping each other and humanity. So anyway, just wanted to share all of this with you today. I'm sending you so much love, light, and the highest Reiki blessings. Namaste.